this week, we're going to go over how stupid the creative team was. So this is what Monday Night Raw looked like before Monday Night Raw started. Yes! So we're going to have both Raw teams fight for supremacy when they are trying to defend the brand. We are also going to have 2 championship matches next week to try to change the entire Survivor Series card because we don't like it in the first place. We are also somehow, someway, a week and a half away. And we have had no invasions yet. What are we waiting for? What are they doing? This was just a snippet of what Raw was. But at least Retribution finally got its first win. That was something good. And there were some good promos. That's all I got. We're dissecting all of Monday Night Raw, starting right now. You could tell by my intro, Raw was not good at all. Raw dragged on for the entire 3 hours, nothing made sense, and it made it like they literally wrote the show an hour before. But I would not be surprised. We're 2 weeks away from Survivor Series. Let's get started. Raw starts off with The Miz and Morrison. He hints about cashing in during the tag team match tonight because, as we know, it will be The Miz and Morrison and Randy versus Drew and the New Day. So, when I talk about Raw getting rebranded an hour before, this is what I'm talking about. Over the weekend, they had hyped up that Drew was going to be on a Moment of Bliss. Drew and Alexa had some Twitter back and forth talking about them being on a Moment of Bliss, and they entirely canceled the show. Did a different segment with both Drew and Alexa. Why are you going to hype it up if you're going to rewrite it? That was really stupid, especially because the Moment of Bliss with Drew actually made somewhat sense. Miz is the face of the USA Network. He's so ready for the premiere of his new show on Thursday. Whoop-de-doo. Mr. USA, here we come. Randy comes out so angry. He knows he has a chip on his back. He doesn't want to hear anything from The Miz and Morrison. He just wants to get this match over with, head to Survivor Series, and defend his title. And, he's like, don't you dare cash in on me tonight. No way. And, they're going back and forth, and Miz is like, but if we work together as a team, we'll be more successful. We have to work together. Be on the same page. Then, we get to beat the common enemy, which in this case is Drew. Now, New Day comes out, and they're they're making fun of Miz and Morrison, and going back and forth with them, and then New Day and Miz and Morrison's like, oh, all you do is entertain, you can't beat us, whatever, and then it goes into a whole brawl. Drew comes out, brawl. This was fine. I mean, there's been worse segments throughout the night, so okay. And if you follow me on Twitter, this is what got me so annoyed. You had literally Keith Lee and James last week literally say, I want the 5th member of Team Raw to be Drew. I think it should be Drew. Why the hell are you going to say that and then have Riddle versus Hardy versus Elias to get the last place on the team? Why? That does not make any sense. Because now, God forbid, Randy loses the title next week. Drew is not on the freaking card. And he right now is your biggest babyface on Raw. Oh my god. This match, though, was really good. This was hard-hitting. Riddle looked really good in it. It made more sense for Riddle to win because Riddle is a new upcomer. He just got drafted to Raw. So, the match was good. Riddle won. It was okay. And, the Elias concert, and Elias was telling Hardy how he keeps beating him up with a guitar, and how he needs this, and he needs to be on this team, and he lost. But like I said, the match was good. It didn't make any sense, but the match was good. AJ, now backstage, AJ is watching his match. AJ confirms he's captain. He thinks that Riddle is the missing piece. He's really going to glue the team together. Strowman and Lee come in, Sheamus and Lee come in, and they're like, he is not our captain. And Strowman's like, he's not our captain either. So he's like, and AJ's like, you know what, we're going to have a team meeting. Like the one last week you held wasn't good enough, AJ. But sure, let's hold another one. Mustafa Ali promo next. He says Ricochet is brave, but he's still a fool for not joining Retribution, and tonight he's going to get beat up, and Retribution's going to beat them, and they will not rest until Ricochet gets shut down. And I will say Ricochet versus Ali was the best match of the night. It picked Raw up. We'll get there when we get there. Hurt Business next. Drew Gulak wants to be in the Hurt Business. MVP says they didn't want him because he was like, they made fun of him because he was wearing a clip-on tie, and he's like, the Hurt Business just is professional. Do you know how much we pay for these suits? Okay. Cool. And then Truth won the 24/7 title back. Okay. Lana versus Shayna Baszler. All Team Raw got into an argument. And we thought Lana was not going to get through the table. So there's a lot of people thinking that with this as the streak going on, that Team Raw is going to pick up the women's 5-on-5 match, and Lana is going to be the sole survivor, which in my, like, I get it, because it's like, you know, like, you didn't think she was going to win that Battle Royal versus Asuka, and she won, and then you didn't think she was going to win that Fatal 4-Way to be on the Survivor Series team, and she won that too. And you think she's going to be the first eliminated now, she's going to be lost. It makes sense, but I want there to be more of a build. Like, if you're trying to build Lana up to be, like, this person that, like, oh, when you count me out, like, I can still come back in, like, make it worth something. Like, I'm not saying to, like, put the title on her, because that is not what I want. Just, like, make it be more valuable, you know? Like, it's literally a joke every week that Lana gets put through a table. And if you're trying to make Lana a star, let there be an end goal here. Don't just do, like, these little things and then it's just nothing, and I'm here in the Royal Rumble season, and I'm like, it's rumored that Lana's gonna win the Rumble, but I don't want her to. And if that happens, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw this camera out the window. And that'd be really bad, because this is not my camera. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke do an interview next. Lana thanks them for saving Lana from going through the table, because Mandy and Dana were on commentary. You know, Mandy said that, you know, we just all want to be on the same page going into Survivor Series, and please take your, like, don't go into our business because you are the ones that cost us the Women's Tag Team titles last week. And here we go for this Team Raw meeting. Now, I really hope that Rollins doesn't do the same thing on SmackDown, because these were like it's funny, but it's stupid at the same time. And, like, I love AJ in this role. It's very funny, it's very comical. But, like, no. So, AJ says, you know, with him being the captain, he's going to be the reason that, like, they beat SmackDown, and, you know, last week was a rough start, but now with Riddle, like, we can really come together. So Keith says, like, how are you going to say that to me when you tried to cheap shot me last week? And Sheamus calls him a hypocrite because he's like, hey, buddy, like, you're the one who did the same thing to me, like, what are you talking about? And then Strowman's like, I don't care, I'm just gonna beat everybody up. And everyone's like, oh, AJ's not the captain. Riddle starts, like, nicknaming people, which is also kind of stupid too. And AJ says they need to take this more seriously or SmackDown is gonna beat them, and starts, like, going like, hey, like the one line that I want to kill Keith Lee was AJ was like, have you ever been curb stomped before? Well, it's not a nice, like, it's not nice, and Seth Rollins is gonna curb stomp you, and Keith Lee just goes, I'll just powerbomb him, I did that last year, I got him out of the Survivor Series match. Okay, buddy. No. And I also appreciate Twitter, because every single person was making fun of the fact that Rollins and Riddle have to go in the same ring, in the same match, because the whole thing was talking about, like, oh, Rollins didn't want to be with Riddle, and Riddle got moved, and now they're in the match together. So now AJ somehow has the power to make matches, so now it is Braun Strowman and Sheamus versus Riddle and Lee, to gain respect for one another. Okay. AJ as the special guest referee was very funny. He had a little captain's patch on, like, the ref shirt. And Riddle was fun too, because when he made this match, Riddle was just like, do you even have a ref shirt, bro? No, you don't. But he was really good. Jordan tries to get involved here, which was also really good too. It was entertaining, but I felt like, you know, you keep doing matches within your Survivor Series teams, like, it's so pointless at this point, because you're supposed to be like, hey, we're on the same page here, and if we have differences, like, we're gonna put them aside. Why do you keep having matches between every single person every single week? Like, How is this? Just no. Stop doing this. Riddle and Lee get the win here, but please next week don't have a match between everyone on the Survivor Series team. Please, thank you. Have a nice day. Elias, Bliss, and Nikki Cross have a interview next. You know, Nikki's trying to say, oh, like, what was that last week? Alexa's like, I don't remember. You came up to me? I don't think you did. And Nikki's like trying to get Alexa to come back home and says like, the Fiend is bad for you. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. You have to choose me or him. And like Alexa's like playing with flowers, kind of like, you know, like how the evil people like play with flowers and they're like picking the petals. And she's like, I pick him. So I'm really excited for this because I feel like what you could do here is every time the Fiend wrestles somebody, they change. So now every time Alexa wrestles somebody, they could change too, and you just have them taking over the entire Raw roster. So having Alexa change Nikki back to like that crazy self that was when she was with Sanity, that would be absolutely amazing. They could go after the women's tag team titles, like, do that. That would be amazing. I don't know when we're gonna do that, but please do that. That'd be really good. Bobby Lashley and MVP have a promo next. They said that Benjamin, like, it's announced that Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin next week are going to wrestle for the tag titles, which goes into my next point. So, the other reason why Raw was stupid was, you have 2 title matches next week. You have the tag team title match, and you have Orton versus Drew. So now, I don't think that either title is going to change hands. But what's the point of doing that? Because you have done really no job in selling the fact of Randy and Reigns. You haven't. And that's more, unless you're putting the 5-on-5 match last, that match is more or less likely your main event. And there's no hype to it. And that sucks. And the other thing too is everyone's looking forward to the Street Profits and New Day because they're just so similar in characters. And you're going to take that away from us. Which is why you should have done this match the Monday Night after Survivor Series. Because then, I don't care. Put the title in her business. I want that. Just wait till after Survivor Series. Please do not rob me of the Street Profits and the New Day. I do not want to sit here next Tuesday screaming at the camera that you made a mistake. And the other thing is this. Why would you put Drew versus Reigns? Because then you're going to have Randy hunting back for his title, and then you have this whole thing with The Fiend. So why would you want to change, like, why? Why? I was literally screaming at my TV at 10 o'clock. Anyway, so they're going to be New Day next week. Lashley's going to beat Zayn, and, you know, Bobby's going to prove that, like, the U.S. title is just so much more meaningful in their Intercontinental Championship. Out of all freaking people, Titus O'Neil, who shockingly is still with the company, I know you're shocked too, he came out, he wanted to join her business, and he's like, no, bro, we don't want you, and then he was like making fun of Lashley, like, oh, if you, like, what's the point of having a title if you don't defend it? So then this sets up Titus O'Neil versus Bobby Lashley in the lesson. You are literally making it seem like you don't have a World Women's Champion. Don't do this. Please. Like, I don't know when Charlotte's coming back. I'm assuming she's gonna come back at the Rumble, but, like, do something. But it's Asuka versus Nia Jax here. It was a good back and forth. Asuka won. There was a brawl, and Lana went through the table. Whoop-de-doo. 8 tables. 8 weeks. I'm so excited. No. R-Truth interview next. Basically, it was, I believe, 7. It was a 7-man match for the 24/7 championship. And Truth was, like, shocked that that was going to happen. Please get rid of this title. You're running out of ideas. You're so running out of ideas. And it's so bad. Just have Truth join to her business. Please. Have Truth join to her business. I'll pay. Literally pay to have Truth join to her business. Then we go into another strange promos because we still don't know who the hell this mystery girl is that Angel Garza's talking about. So he does anything to win. He's ready to show everyone else, like, everyone else is worthless, and he's ready, like, this rose is for the girl. The promos are really good. I just want you to, like, capitalize on this and do something with him because I believe Garza should have been the 5th member of Team Raw, but yike. So now I have to read this from my computer because there was a lot of title changes here. So It was R-Truth versus Lindsay Dorado versus Grand Metalik versus Tucker versus Eric versus Akira Tozawa versus Gulak. So first Tozawa won, then Eric won, then Drew Gulak won, then Tucker won, then Drew Gulak won again, then Tucker won again, then Grand Metalik won, then Lindsay Dorado won, and then R-Truth won. So my problem with this is, and I was like making this comment as we were going towards the main event too, this was a match that was built throughout the night, and the main event was probably about 8 to 10 minutes long. Then if you would have cut this segment, you would have had a 15 to 20 minute main event. So what was the point of having that segment? Exactly. But in the match of the night, Ali versus Ricochet, and Ali finally won! Yes! Oh my god, this was so good. Literally, if you just have more stuff like this, Raw would be so much more enjoyable. This match went maybe 20-25 minutes. They got to show everything that they were capable of doing. There were flips. Ricochet attacked Retribution. It was going back and forth. Ricochet did not tap out here, which is an important thing to note because, they're going to try to play this in their storyline. But this was really good. Retribution finally got a win. It's about time. So now, don't mess up. I know I'm asking a lot from you here, but please don't mess up. Because this is good. You can totally, what should happen is after Survivor Series, you should have Ali take that U.S. title, have him have gold, because he needs it, and he deserves it. And I fully believe that if you build Ali right, if maybe, after Mania, he could be a viable contender for that title. Because right now, you're building him as your top heel in the company, and you got to keep on building it, because he's worth it. The promos he cuts every week, the promos he posts on Twitter, you gotta do something with him because he's too valuable to have you mess up and have him go to AEW, where they're gonna do more things with him. Randy versus Drew, and then is then announced, and he's like beating up Adam. He held Adam to the wall to yell at him. And I was like, he didn't Technically, he didn't make the match. He said that he was in a meeting, and the meeting executives told him the match. But okay. And our main event. So Randy wanted absolutely nothing to do with this match. He was like, whatever. He just stood there. He let Miz and Morrison take all the heat. Drew and the New Day won. It was an okay match. It was easy to watch. It was back and forth. It was kind of good. But like I said, I felt like it was rushed because you had that 24/7 title segment that was so freaking long that if you cut it out of the show, made it shorter, the main event would have been more enjoyable to watch. But that was Raw. I didn't like it. I thought Raw dragged. I felt like there were pointless segments. I felt like segments were too long, segments were too short. You can't keep writing Raw the hour.
Oh, we don't like Asuka.
Oh my god. You scared me. What? I didn't like Raw. I talked about Asuka already. See? I don't know. I think Raw really needs to pick it up. I feel like SmackDown's the strongest show each and every week. The 2 hours fly by, and when you have all your major stars on SmackDown, you need to build your stars on Raw, and Raw's not doing that. You need to pick it up because soon SmackDown's gonna become that A show, and then USA Network not gonna be too happy. But that's Raw. Make sure to tune in Thursday for our AEW Dynamite review, and then Saturday for SmackDown. And then next week we got Raw, Dynamite. What do we got? We got Raw, Dynamite, Survivor Series predictions, SmackDown, Survivor Series review. Got a long week next week. But make sure to like this video, comment down below your reactions to Raw. Like this, I said that already. Make sure to click that bell for notifications. Please subscribe. I will see you on Thursday. And like I've been hinting all last week, hopefully I'm putting the final touches on a major thing that's coming to this channel. And hopefully that will be up by the end of the week, early next week. I will see you next time on another episode of Kimmy Talks Wrestling.